Welcome everyone. In this video we will cover House Bill 28, House Bill 48, House Bill 114, House Bill 340, House Bill 435, and Senate Bill 340. Jason, if you want to start.
Sure. So House Bill 28 on-premise sign installation. This one covers the allowance for sign companies to do minor electrical work. So it defines some terms with the professional licensing program, and this covers the length of up to 10 feet, 20 amps, and 115 volt systems. So this goes into effect May 7th of this year, and this hopefully can help the sign installers do more work that was pretty nominal in the effects it would have on the industry. So.
Doug?
Well, yeah, House Bill 48 came about. Representative Snyder wrote this legislation and assisted with this. Part of this is to be able to have the bill in cities to adopt wildland-urban interface standards to remain eligibility for certain state funding. Forest area and lands, people really wanted to have a good model for the state to be able to show industry, especially insurance, on what the severities are in the different wildland-urban interface areas. So this was created. There's a lot of moving parts still undetermined on this as far as who, what, when, where. And so stand by for this post-legislative session and maybe even some cleanup later on of how this all gets administered. The biggest thing is if you have a wildland urban interface, hopefully you have a mapping area. Get with the Utah Wildland Code that's out there currently that was adopted back in 2006, and look for the different severity forms that are out there and processes on how to do severity assessments to get ready for this season of doing a good tool for severity assessments.
Okay, Eric, you're going to cover this one.
Yeah, House Bill 114, Architects Licensing Act Amendment. This narrows the scope of unlawful conduct for individuals engaging in architectural and makes technical changes and goes into effect May 7th, 2025.
And if I remember, the big talking point was using the word architecture.
That's
and they
correct.
determined it was not a protected phrase.
That's exactly right.
Jason?
Okay, so yeah, House Bill 340, solar power amendments. And this addresses the portable solar generation equipment. This was intended to allow listed and cord and plug type of installation practices, and not to be confused with if somebody were to go out there and modify something they were able to buy on your home improvement stores or even online, and then try to modify these things and plug them in to then try and create a large system. Now this is solely directed to help with these cord and plug intended. Again, it's less than 1,200 watts, I believe is what the language had put in there. And so it's going to be very limited, and currently we do not know of any that are listed for that purpose, but it kind of sets the wheels in motion to allow that for future installation practices. And so the sponsor on this has plans to dive deeper into the research and information out there, looking at different countries and all that coming into play. So hopefully we'll see stuff in the future that we can be using here in Utah for people that own properties and want to use these things.
So even though they're not listed, they can still be purchased, correct?
Yeah, correct. And that's the challenge, and problem that's going to be out there is how do you deal with those? Well, if they don't have permits, it's a cord and plug type thing. How do you deal with an air conditioner that you can put into your window, for example, that's a cord and plug and stuff? So we already see those types of installation practices with different model codes that are involved. It is a challenge, and we recognize that, and hopefully with the listing and labeling component and things that'll steer the retail market to hopefully use that as a practice. Doug, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I just was wondering, is there a minimum kilowatt on these?
So there's a maximum of 1,200 watts on that is what this is limited to. So if it exceeds those numbers, then obviously wouldn't be classified as this portable exemption that's in
Yeah,
the
good.
bill.
Okay. All right, this one, House Bill 435, just simply titled Building Code Amendments, is very simple. Of all of them, it's the most simple. It addresses high tunnel structures, and this new section just simply mirrors what was already existing for cities and towns. So there wasn't much discussion. It essentially had already been approved. They just needed language in there to direct counties on how to regulate.
So Catherine, one of the questions that comes up quite often with high tunnels is, can you do electrical, plumbing, mechanical and such under this exemption, or how does that then interface with that?
No, all the language is there. So if you're wondering what the limitations are, be sure to go read this language. It will be important to you, especially if you see a lot of these. I know there are municipalities that and counties that do, so.
Thank you.
All right, next one is Eric.
This will be covering Senate Bill 340, Protected Persons Amendment. This provides the confidentiality of records relating to certification of a security improvement or a security improvement construction, exempts security improvements from land use regulation, and enacts penalties for delays in permitting process of security improvements. So basically, if somebody thought they were at a high-risk person trained to hide from somebody due to other issues in life, they could come to the city council, planning commission, get a permit to be able to go through and put a tunnel or some other ways to get out of their house without having to get permits.
And they do have to do some type of registration to say, I am legitimately a protected person.
Yes. It'd have to go through the county, I believe, to get that information to show that, or through the county attorney's office, somewhere to have that.
Right.
Yeah, so it may not necessarily exempt them from having to get a permit, but then it would also make it to where they wouldn't be grammar requestable information, right? So that those additional levels of protection are provided with this bill going forward.
Right, all of the information would be
Yep.
protected.
Gives them protection.
Name, address, everything on the
Yeah.
permit.
Because that was the fear with if you had to get a permit. Permits are typically a political document that then somebody can come in and get a grammar request, which then they would no longer feel protection with that. Now, kind of the driving force behind
Kind of
this.
a land use
Yeah,
task force not being
exactly.
able to stop them from doing that.
So just a question back on the grammar request. Is it through redaction that the protection's there? Or is it just totally a protected document no matter what?
Good question. I would imagine it would probably go under like a proprietary protection where it's just not even available.
Okay.
And so they could go through like the public safety department to start this whole process to then before they even come to the land use authority so that they know the sensitivity behind that request. That way they can also do the background of the protection involvement that's needed for that individual or their family. And that way they can feel comfortable in coming to the local jurisdiction to have those things built on their property. So that's the whole purpose of this.
Yeah, and there's really detailed, almost like instructions of this is how you have to, if you're a person applying for it, but also for any jurisdiction on how they handle these records. So it is quite detailed. If you have this situation, you'll want to look at this legislation.
All you building officials know that you're in the arena of grammar requests quite a bit, aren't you?
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And
This is an
this sets the
important one to
wheels
know.
forward, yeah, to protect those individuals from not have that fear of having some protection they're trying to build in for their family being exposed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's it for this video number 2. And hang in there, look at all of the other ones. Thanks.
Thank you.
Perfect.